Hi, how you doing? Just wanted to quickly check in and say hi. Just came from my morning run. Today's been tough, I have to say. I was tired, very tired. It's been quite an intense week, but I'm glad I did it, and it's one mark off from the list. I have my last run of this week tomorrow, and then we start all over again. I have to say, it's now becoming almost like second nature. The habit is building. I don't remember, I read it, I mean, it's common knowledge, but I don't remember exactly how many times, how many days, but I know that it takes a certain amount of days of time for an action to become a habit. And that's where they say, keep doing, stick to the plan for anything that you do. Before it becomes like a second nature, you don't even think about it and it's incorporated in your life, it takes X amount of time. And that's what I try to do with running as well. I told you last time, it's something that is a hate and love relationship that I have with running, but I try this time to stick to it so it comes back as a habit. I used to run every day, like a few years ago, I mean, even last summer, I used to go running every single day. Then in winter time, it get a bit lazier. But anyway, I'm glad I did it. I can see progress and I feel better. So overall, quite good. As I was saying, it's been I'm tired this weekend. It's been a long week at work, and I was reflecting this morning that it's not the first week of January or the first week back to work after Christmas holidays, but I think because the first week back to work, it was a very busy but dynamic week, I didn't have time to get tired. And maybe you have the energy from being off a few days, so I went with the flow. But this week, maybe because last weekend I didn't have the chance to recover properly. As you know, we have people coming, we were hosting, so it's different. This working week, even if it's been shorter because I was off the first couple of days because we were hosting, this week felt very intense. So I'm glad the weekend is finally here. I haven't planned anything yet. I think it's going to be a very chilled and relaxed weekend because both me and Paolo need some time to recover as well. But January in general felt like a very long month. I don't know you, but for me, every single year. And I think that there's a different element. I was thinking about it yesterday. First of all, January is already by default quite a long month. Very often I check it, so it's never always 4 weeks. It's usually like 5 weeks. So it's already long by default. Then there's an element of we're coming from an holiday period because December is a buzzy moment. You meet with friends, you go out, you celebrate, you spend time with family. It's a celebration moment until New Year's Eve celebration. So it's a constant, you receive constantly input from the outside. It's a shopping month, there's a lot going on. And then January starts and everything is almost like from 100 miles per hour, you stop and you start back to 20 miles per hour. So I think our mind needs to readapt to it. There's also an element, I think, of habit and routine, because may be completely wrong, but I believe that in our life there are moments and there are elements that act almost like there are key dates, let's say, in a month, in a year, in our life, that help us to give a certain rhythm to the days, to the weeks, to our life. Give you for some example. Thinking about, for example, bills. You have deadlines and it's always the same day of each month. So you know that you are at that point of the month. Another thing is salary. Obviously everybody's different, but in general you're getting paid either every 2 weeks or every month. And it's the same day every month, depending on the country or the company, obviously. But you know that when you get paid, it's almost like a moment of reset, because you get the money, you start, budgeting, planning, you can treat yourself, and it works as a reset moment. What happens, at least in UK, but I think in many countries, is that in December, because offices are closing, and what they do is, if you're getting paid at the end of the month, like me, rather than get your salary on the 30th, they usually anticipate to just before Christmas, so you will get paid on the 22nd, on the 23rd. And I think this somehow interfere with our mind, because again, for us, for the brain, when you get paid is the end of the month, and it's almost like resetting the clock. So the clock has been resetted on the 22nd of December rather than on the 30th. So subconsciously, I think the countdown to the end of the month has started 10 days before. So already January feels 10 days longer. Plus, every other month, there's always something happening. Could be a bank holiday, could be a summer holiday, you go on vacation. It's much dynamic, or at least, obviously not everybody goes on vacation every month, I wish I could, but you're looking forward to something that is happening. January is a very static month, because obviously we're coming from Christmas holiday, so there's no other big celebration coming anytime soon. It's quite rare that you plan to go on holiday straight after you just been on holiday. Summer feels still far away. Again, I think there's an illusion in our mind that because the year ended, everything is ended in the winter, but actually winter is still on, and January very often, at least here in UK, is one of the coldest and month of the year, is where maybe if there's a chance of snowing, it's snowing, rains kick on, so it's a very dreadful month. But that's okay, we're already more than halfway through. Soon is going to be February, and then we are already one step closer to summertime. What's your favorite season, actually? I think if I have to pick one, it's difficult, because for each season there's something that I like. In winter, everything that is linked to winter. I like the cold season, I like the snow when it snows, so I like winter for this reason. Summertime, obviously I love summer. I'm coming from a place where in Italy I used to live 10 minutes driving from the beach, so of course I love summer and I love going to the beach. I think if I need to choose, my top one might be spring. So I like I call them the transition season, spring and autumn. I like both of them, so I think if I need to rank them, it will be spring, then autumn, then summer, then winter, if I have to choose. I love spring because you coming from winter where everything is asleep, everything feels dead, and the nature start to come to life, start to awakening. You can see the flower, they are popping up, colors are changing, green is coming back, The days are getting longer, especially in UK. Days are very long. Daylight kicks on early in the morning until late in the evening. I love that. Temperature is rising and you can smell the spring. Doesn't matter where you live, even in London, you can smell the air as I call it the nature perfume. So I love that. Animals are waking up is a great feeling, and your mood is affected by it. I get very much happier and dynamic in springtime. Then obviously the summer, and who doesn't love summer? Here in UK it doesn't last very long. It's not like 3 months of summer, but it's still a nice moment. This is where you enjoy your place, your city, the parks, is where you can finally go out wearing just a vest and it's warm. Oh, I love that. But the other season that I love, I think it's magical. It's the autumn. I don't know you, but that's something special about autumn. I think is the color palette. Everything change again. So I think I'm fascinated by the change. So between spring and summer, nature is almost, stable. But then changes again. Everything from green changed to brown and yellow, orange. Everything feels rusty or copper. There's this golden vibe. I'm in love with autumn. We are coming from summer when it's very dynamic, it's very busy. We do a lot of things in summertime. When you arrive in September, October, you almost want to spend more time indoor, do lazy things, as I like to call them. Usually autumn is where I start all my new hobbies. I'm a Gemini, so as you can imagine, I like to do hundreds of things at the same time. I start everything, finish nothing. That's how I usually operate when it comes to hobby. But autumn is where I start all these new things. Every year I try to learn a new skill. I learn knitting. I like reading, or maybe you wanna create something, there's always something to do. Cooking, baking, whatever you like to do. And then there's winter and the magical vibe of winter. I don't know why we end up talking about season, but that's okay. And just wanted, as I say, I just wanted to check in, say hi, and spend a bit of time here. I know I say this every single time, but I'm liking it. This process of recording this sort of diaries, video diaries. Even if they don't make sense, or at least there's no like a theme or a purpose, a specific purpose for each video, but they make sense to me. And it's like having in this, like right now, I'm feeling like I'm having a coffee or a cup of tea with a friend. And you don't necessarily have to have a purpose when you have a conversation with a friend. It's just a way of talking and maybe thinking about something. Stop for a moment. We are living such a busy life where having 5-10 minutes to stop, pause and reflect about season like we just did, it feels like a luxury, and I really like. I hope you like it too, and I'll see you next time. Bye.